guys, welcome back to the channel. Now today we have something completely different. So normally I do kind of house builds or natural builds. Now today I'm doing a house build, but not the kind you would normally expect for me to build. So today I thought I'd show you guys how I would go about building kind of these medieval kind of city houses, you know, where they're kind of in a row, and you've kind of got them all connected and intertwined. You know, you've got overhanging walls like so, and like here for example, you know, these kinds of builds. And I just thought I'd show you guys how I go about building them, especially because you know, I did that medieval town square time lapse, and I didn't show the process of me really building the houses other than in an update video beforehand. So I just really wanted to do a separate kind of video, kind of just to show you guys how I go about building these houses. Obviously, as per, and particularly in this case, I am going to be using the resource pack. You know, it's kind of a it's just going to be one of those things. But obviously, like the previous house tutorial, there are lots of things here you can pick up and kind of change over. So for example, if you want to be building this in survival with the default textures, replace these with stairs, put slabs here. You don't need the trim. And you know, with these Tudor blocks, for example, the wattle and whatever, you can use things like wool or concrete, you know, or terracotta. Just use your kind of equivalent that you think looks nice. Mythical Sausage, for example, does a lot of great tutorials where he kind of does a kind of medieval kind of pillar and plaster effect. So you can kind of take inspiration from other people. You know, it's not hard to kind of adapt the designs. But yeah, I'm going to be using the resource pack for this one, so that's just a kind of pre-warning. So, well, pre-notice. So the first kind of thing you want to do when building one of these houses is you want to get all your blocks. So I know for a fact the one thing I'm definitely going to be relying heavily on are these blocks here. These are like my bread and butter now for like building, so I need those buttons there for my kind of supports. Now the next thing I want to do is I want to identify kind of the lower wall block. Now because I've used stone here, I would be more inclined to use either plaster or brick to kind of break it up. So I think in this case, and because it's a slightly smaller building, I'm going to go with my plaster variety here with the cobblestone in it. I also tested adding in the mushroom stem, so I'm going to add that in as well. It's a bit weird, but I like it. It's a bit like this texture here, which is now in the pack from the taken from Metafault. You know, it's slightly different, but it still blends in nicely and adds a bit of colour, so I like that. So now that we've got our lower kind of wall blocks, you know, things, we can now kind of focus on what's going to be on the upper floors. So I know for a fact I really like using I'm not really sure. I think for this one I'm going to use the dark thatch kind of look. I like this. It's a brilliant roof block. I like the texture, I like the colours, so I'm going to use that. For the logs, I'm going to use, I would use dark oak because it looks really nice with the dark thatch. Yeah, you know, I'm going to use dark oak log. I'm gonna mix it up because I normally use spruce because that's like my old reliable, but I'm gonna mix it up today. And now we kind of need a specific Tudor block, or Tudor wattle block, I guess you could say. So I need to pick one of these. I'm not really sure which one to go with. Normally I tend to go with, like with this one, I went with the brown and the white. However, I think in this case, I'm going to mix it up and kind of change the colours. So I'm going to go with red. Now that's a bit of a left field play for me. Like, I don't tend to go for the brighter colours. I keep things kind of, you know, within the normal colours. And then I do involve the extra colours. I just don't do it often. What I'll do now is I'll grab things like the minimal things, so I'll grab my doors, trapdoors, fences, yeah, no, not fence gates, that's not a fence gate, that's a trapdoor. So we've got all of our little detail blocks there, and I think that should be it. So the first thing I like to do is I like to just build up my walls. Now in this case I'm not going to be building like the full house, I'll only be building the front because one, that would take a long time. I mean, if you guys want to see the process of me building the whole kind of house right back, I mean, obviously I'll do the front like this, for example. This is my aim, this is what I want to do here today. But like, if you guys want to see how I kind of go about building like a full kind of part of a street, for example, like you see here, you guys can see some behind the scenes here, then let me know, because I can do that, you know. So once you've kind of built up your front wall, what you really want to do is you want to kind of judge the height you're going for. So in these cases I've gone 4 blocks high on the lower wall, the foundation, and I've then gone out. However, you might want to go 3 blocks up, but because this is a main street and not like kind of a kind of non-main street, I'm not gonna do that. I want it to be quite high up because it needs to be high, because obviously carriages will be going through here, etc. So it needs to kind of be high up for it to make sense. Now the next thing you want to do is you want to go in here and add a bit of randomization with your other texture blocks. Now what I like to do now, and I've kind of got a bit of a method now, is so you see in this case where there is a repeated texture here. Now at first glance you don't really notice it, but if you really are looking you do see it. So what I like to do is that's where I like to go in and add my extra blocks. I like to replace the duplicates, at least when they're next to each other. Like for example, you've got a duplicate there and there, but it's not so close so you don't notice it. Now I'm going to go in and add like my kind of mushroom blocks. So what I'll do with that is I'll just place it where I need to break up the kind of terracotta blocks that I've placed, okay? And that pretty much is it. So I'm going to get rid of these now because I don't actually need them. I mean, I might need them later if I need to replace any blocks, but for now I should be fine. So now what you might want to do is you might want to work out where you want your door. Now I'm going to go with putting the door here. I'm not going to put a window on the lower floor because I personally don't. I rarely do that. I mean, I did it there, but I would probably get. I'm gonna just. Yeah, we don't talk about that. I don't like windows on the lower floor anymore. It's something I used to do a lot, but now I don't particularly like doing it because I don't think it. I mean, it makes sense to a degree, but they just look kind of out of place on the main street. There might be some cases where you want to do a door, like no, a window even. Sorry, like for a shop or something. But in this case, I'm not going to. Okay, so now what you want to do is you want to kind of start getting your supports in place. So as you can see here, because it's quite a large, well, it's a weird one, so you can do kind of 2 kind of supports. You can do 1 on either end and then kind of have the bridge in between, or you can do kind of 1 on either end, 1 in the middle, and then fill the gaps. In this case, I think because of how small it is, I'm going to just do a kind of on the ends and then carry it right across, because I think that looks good. Okay, so now what we want to do is put the logs on either side. So this is kind of your support, I guess you could say, for this floor. Now you don't have to put logs here. You could just do straight. You know, you could use your Tudor blocks or your equivalent, but it doesn't really matter. You know, just use whatever you want. Really, it's a subjective one. Back at it again with the subjective stuff, but really, it really is a subjective process. You know, you don't have to. You don't have to do it exactly as I do. You know, you can make it work with your specific needs and wants. So feel free to do that. Now I'm gonna go in and change these up in a second. I just want to build up the main house and then I can talk about that. So as you can see here, what I've done is I've created this kind of lip. Now this would, one, it breaks up the kind of flat wall, and also it kind of provides a bit of shelter for these lower windows here. So I'm going to do the same over there. So I think because it transitions quite nicely with the dark thatch, I'm going to choose dark oak stairs in this case. I do like how these look. They look pretty good. So where did I do that? Okay. So yeah, so for this, what you want to do is you want to get your. That's not the support block. That is the support block. So you want to get your kind of support blocks here, and then you can just build a kind of beam behind. And now what you can do is you can just have your lip here like that. Now you can put one here as well, that's up to you. I mean, I think I did it. Did I do it on these? Yeah, I did do it on these. Actually, no, I didn't. So when you have a beam, obviously you want to put a kind of support in the middle, but for here I didn't. You might want to, but that's obviously up to you. You know, you don't have to do that. But yeah, I actually, no, I'm not going to, because I don't like how it covers up the wattle. I'm going to punch out holes here for my windows, so I'm going to have 2 windows here. I think this will look good. I'm now going to get my trim here, so I like to put these along the edges because it kind of makes it look a bit more complete. I've done, you know, I do it on all my houses. It looks pretty good. I like the finish it gives. Now I'm going to put in my windows as well. So with the windows, I like to kind of do a mixed variant. So I don't tend to like them shut. I mean, you could do them shut if you want to, but I'm personally not going to. So I'm going to have that one there as well, like that. Well, actually, no, I'm just going to have that one open like that and shut that one. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, so that's your windows done. So this is basically how the house is looking so far. Now it might be at this point that you might want to change up your block types. Like for example, you might be thinking, that red doesn't really look that good, so you might want to change that, and that's totally fine. You know, obviously you can mix and match. I know for a fact that I like the red, I like how it contrasts with the other blocks, but instead of using plaster here, I'd much rather use the stone variety here, because I think that would just work a lot better. I could swap that in, actually using World Edit, but I'm not going to, because I'm already kind of waffling on enough as it is, so I better carry on. So next we'll do the roof. Now the roof is an interesting one. This is where you got to kind of make your decision of how you want the roof to look. Do you want it to be kind of a upside down V shape but kind of flat, or do you want it to be a triangle? Do you want it to be a V shape but tall? Do you want it to be a kind of V shape but kind of slanted more on one side? You know, it's a weird one. You know, you've got to kind of work out what you want to build. Now again, this is something that you can kind of change, and it's not something that you'll be 100% satisfied with first try. I mean, if you are, then that's great. If you've got like a set plan of what you want to do, then that's great. But in this case, I'm just probably going to go with a simple kind of triangle roof. What I might do is, like when we get up to here, for example, I might bring it in like this, and then have that like that. So we do that. Now what this does is it's kind of like your typical medieval roof, where it's kind of going up and then it folds in on itself. I like that kind of look, it's pretty good. This is a weird one though, because I'm going to have these blocks here, so it might mess up the roof a little bit, but we're just going to run with it and see how it goes. Now I don't tend to start with just building the roof straight out, but what I notice happens when I'm building these houses is I go about building the kind of end wall, like here for example, and then I end up changing it around a lot, because as I'm building the roof it doesn't fit, you know, it doesn't look right. So I like to now build the roof, kind of start building the roof first, and then I can go in and see, hey, you know, this is how I want the roof to look, this is what I want to do with the wall inside, you know, to work with that roof. So again, just, you know, it's your own approach, but that's personally what I would recommend. So do your kind of wall, your roof frame first, and then go about building this wall. Okay, so next thing you want to do is I'm going to go about building the wall. Now here I like to do the kind of log trim just on the inside like this, because then you can kind of see it. You don't have to do that, you can have straight terracotta, not terracotta, sorry, white plaster and beams for example, but I'm going to do it like this here, and now you just want to fill in the gaps. And now we've got kind of the kind of complete house front. I'm going to put a little window up here because I think that'd be kind of cute. Just a little kind of attic window, I guess you could say. Yeah, I'll have that like that, I reckon. Yeah, I'll do that. Okay, so now what we can do is I'm going to bring out the debug stick, and I'm going to go about bringing in more realistic kind of terracotta frames. Now this looks pretty good actually, but I want to change it up because I don't really like that select look. So a lot of people do this quite randomly, but there is kind of a thought process to the terracotta. So you kind of want to make it look like it's a realistic support here. So as you can see, the beam kind of goes up and around. So I'm going to do a similar thing over there. So what I want to do is I'm just going to do something like this. Now I want to have a cross here. I'll probably do that like that. Again, just kind of follow how I'm doing it. It's really hard to explain kind of my thought process with this, but you can kind of pick it up, like you understand what I'm doing. Okay, so as you can see here, oh, what was that? Oh, that was the button. Okay, so as you can see here, I've kind of got some kind of support. I'm tempted to make those crosses. Okay, right. So yeah. As you can see here, we've got some kind of support. So as you can see, you've kind of got the beam that supports this, and then it kind of goes up and around, and it's mirrored on the other side. You've got the kind of central cross support beam, which would probably have a lot of weight on it. I mean, I'm not an architect, but you know, it just looks like it would make sense. So again, I'm going to do a similar thing up here. So I want to kind of have, I like how that's looking. I'm probably going to make that a plane. Bring these in like that. Do like crosses here, because that looks alright. And then do, I don't know, I could actually do like a, double thing like that. No, I'm just going to do crosses. I kind of like how the crosses look. Okay, so yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this one. I'll just close those trapdoors there. Yeah, I think this is pretty much it for the house. So what we do is I'll put some shaders on real quick. Yeah, we'll go BSL. I'm recording this literally the day before I go home because I put a little tweet out. I just wanted to get a little video done because I haven't done anything in a while. I want to get back into the swing of recording videos. So yeah, I just really wanted to get this one done today. I'm just going to fill this in up here so it doesn't look, because it looks a little bit odd having nothing on the side, if you know what I mean. I mean, there would be a building here because it's a terrace, but for now it's a temporary kind of thing. There we go. Okay, that looks alright. So yeah, as you guys can see, you know, we've got a cool little kind of house here. You know, you can put your little details outside. Like you could have like a banner on the house, for example. I would probably go about putting like a table or something outside. Ooh, where's my button bar? I'll just, you know, do a quick detail. No, that's the chair. Hang on a minute. Yeah, well, there we go. You got a little chair and a little barrel there. There we go. Little quick detail. But yeah, as you guys can see, you know, we've got a really cool looking kind of town front, you know, European, mainland European style of building. So yeah, anyway, I really hope you guys have enjoyed the video. I really hope you guys found it kind of helpful, you know. I know it's kind of a long-winded video, but I really like to kind of get my thought process in here. You know, I don't do these scripted because I feel like if I do, it's kind of, it comes across as quite mechanical. You don't really find out as much information, whereas if I'm doing it live, I do tend to talk about things in more detail. I elaborate. So, you know, I really hope you guys enjoy that style of video making. Although I do notice the watch times are quite low, so maybe you don't, but it's kind of how I prefer doing things. So I don't know, you guys tell me down below if you kind of enjoy me elaborating on stuff and giving more detail and kind of thought and explanation on my thought process. But anyway, I really hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Make sure to, you know, like, comment, subscribe, check out the Discord in the link in the description below. You know, I've got a cool little community going there. Another thing is, well, you might notice I changed my skin. I've got eyebrows now. Looks a bit weird, might change it around a little bit in terms of colours, but yeah. Anyway, I really hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Make sure to share the video with your friends, especially if you think they might find it useful. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Goodbye.